Man just came forward as key witness to major murder Clinton's denied for years. Says he has proof. Disturbing information ahead by Al Waisman for FreedomDaily.com. Former WWE wrestler star from the late 80s, Billy Jack Haynes, has come forward with alarming allegations about the death of two Arkansas teens back in 1987. This is one strange turn of events in the case of a double murder in Arkansas, which has been a cold case for some time now. In March of 1987, as Haynes was busy wrestling in front of a record-breaking crowd of 93,000 fans at the Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit, Michigan, for WrestleMania 3 over 900 miles away, teens Kevin Ives and Don Henry were brutally killed in Alexander, Arkansas. To this day, this case has remained a mystery, but today 31-year-old William Albert Haynes is now claiming to have witnessed their deaths. The unsolved crime, which has been called Boys on the Tracks for over 30 years, has always been a hot topic for people on Salin County, who have conjured up different theories, shared ideas, and spread rumors about who was responsible for the deaths of the teens on August 23, 1987, but no one has ever been arrested. The most popular theory, which is what the then Bill Clinton appointed medical examiner said was suicide, which was caused by smoking too much pot, drinking, and passing out on the train tracks, which led to them getting hit by the train, but later an Atlanta-based pathologist found the boys were knocked unconscious or killed before their bodies were dumped on the tracks and found no traces of pot or alcohol in their bodies. A grand jury later concluded the deaths to be the result of homicide. Can it be that another Clinton crime is coming to light? Could Haynes have witnessed the death of these teens who stumbled onto a drug drop while hunting for deer in a case of being at the wrong place at the wrong time? Or can all this just be a case of washed up wrestler trying to get another 15 minutes of fame? You decide. Freedom Daily reported back in November, the shocking number of dead bodies accumulating around the Clintons cannot be considered a coincidence any longer, especially now that the youngest potential victims have been identified under truly tragic circumstances. The most scandalous couple in political history's body count seems to be on the rise once again after a brief reprieve of no sudden mysterious casualties. The latest is possibly the most shocking, yet as children have never been part of the equation, but now seem to be. The casualties that keep accumulating around this crooked woman with major secrets she's desperate to keep hidden no matter who she has to kill off to ensure it has reached an unprecedented level that cannot or should not be ignored any longer. With President Donald Trump in charge, new incidents that may have gone unnoticed in the past two terms, too long administration in the administration, are now being brought into question. Namely, when people will, with certain connections, wind up suddenly dead under insane circumstances, it should be investigated, and now thankfully it is. The two victims, which are the youngest fatalities tied to the Clintons, yet deserve justice, as do their families, who didn't have any hope of getting any answers until now. The bodies of 17-year-old Kevin Ives and his friend Don Henry, who were 16 years old, were found dead on the tracks near Mena, Arkansas. The location, being near the Clintons' hometown, wasn't the only connection these teens seemed to have to the scandalous couple. There was something else very specific about the small town of Mena. The pair were more than victims of an unsolved case, as a mother's 30-year mission to solve it has since uncovered The boys died in 1987 in what has been described as an unsolved murder case, and now 3 decades later, new information seems to be surfacing in the mix of other strange sudden deaths tied to the Clintons and what happened to be a killing cartel connected to their deep secrets. Clinton appointed state medical examiner Dr. Fahmy Malak initially ruled the boys' deaths as accidental, despite the apparent obvious signs of homicide, not suicide, or simply being on the tracks at the wrong time, which would suggest an accident. However, what really put Mina on the map has not been talked about too much until recently, after it was reported as having been used for one of the busiest drug smuggling and operations in the world in what eventually became known as the Iran-Contra scandal. The boys reportedly died on the tracks by being run over by a train after allegedly falling asleep there. Yeah, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that napping on train tracks is not a good or comfortable idea. No matter how mischievous these teens are, what may have, for whatever reason, seemed like a strange explanation for a tragic event, it only gets more precarious now that other information has surfaced that wasn't available in the 80s as the Clintons were pursuing their political careers, namely that an out-of-state examiner said the cause of death was clearly murder by beating and stabbing before they were placed on the railroad tracks. What do we know now? What are your thoughts on the situation? Let's just take a quick listen to this guy, maybe for a couple of minutes.
I'm Billy Jack Haynes, former World Wrestling Federation wrestler. Today I come with no mask, I come with no hidden voice, I come to you straight face to face because this is reality, man. Don't hide nothing. 30 years ago I witnessed the murder of 2 teenagers on the railroad tracks August 23rd, Alexander, Arkansas. 27 years of that I was a drug addict on pain pill medication. I become clean. It kept bothering me and bothering me and bothering me, and finally, when Seth Rich was killed July 10th, I knew that was a message to me because that's my birthday, July 10th. So here I am coming forward. This is a plea that I'm going to read here for you today. The plea is for those who has yet to contribute to the GoFundMe.com Kevin Ives, Don Henry murders that happened 30 years ago. Please contribute to the fund so that the investigator can continue his work. He says that they still need to interview possible witnesses.
Well, they can't get Clinton and Bill on today's murders. They're going to get them now? What a joke.
Hi, my name is Linda Ives. I'm the mother of Kevin Ives, one of the young boys who was killed on the railroad tracks in 1987. And this is basically our story. There's been a lot of publicity recently about the lawsuit that we filed, which is an FOI lawsuit, trying to get documents that are not redacted. The judge is now reviewing those pages to decide whether or not we get anything or everything. Several of the agencies that were initially named as defendants have been dropped, but we're very hopeful to get something out of this. But we're not there. This doesn't mean anything if he decides not to give us the documents. About a year ago, I received a telephone call from a gentleman that says that he was on the scene the night of the murders. We're in the process of corroborating his information. We feel very hopeful and excited about this information.
Well, Clinton will rip you apart. He was a former drug addict. They got no case. The Clintons, they didn't get caught with Seth Rich. They didn't get caught with all these people that were going to testify against them in Haiti. I mean, you kidding me? They'll rip these people apart. This is peanuts to them. They forget it. Give up. Move on. It's a shame. Hopefully she'll go down for something else that she can, where there's a paper trail. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.